Hi, everyone. It's Katie Halper. Welcome to the Katie Halper Show. I'm just doing a little update. I wanted to make sure that people knew the latest in the Steve Donziger case. I'm going to read the latest news. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because a couple of reasons. One is that I'm bringing Steve back on the show. He's going to come on the show Thursday night to talk about the latest developments. And also because given that he's been found guilty, spoiler alert, he's been found guilty. And so I want to release more clips that from an interview that we already did, which was really great. If I do say so myself, all credit goes to him. So let's see. Reading at The Guardian, lawyer Stephen Donziger found guilty of withholding evidence in Chevron case. Lawyer now faces 6 months in jail following a decades-long battle against the oil company. It's like pretty shameful that it hasn't received more coverage. So he is going to be coming on Thursday night. So make sure that you save time for that. Just going to read now at Democracy Now! Stephen Donziger, who sued Chevron over Amazon oil spills, blasts contempt of court conviction. A federal judge has found environmental and human rights lawyer Stephen Donziger guilty of 6 counts of criminal contempt of court after he refused to turn over his computer and cell phone. The case stems from Chevron's unprecedented legal campaign against Donziger over his role in winning an $18 billion settlement against Chevron for dumping 16 billion gallons of oil into the Ecuadorian Amazon. In an unusual legal twist, the judge appointed a private law firm with ties to Chevron to prosecute Donziger after federal prosecutors declined to bring charges. Donziger, who has been under house arrest for almost 2 years, condemned the judge's ruling. It's really disgusting. Make sure that you tune in on Thursday. So here is a clip of the May interview that I did with Steve Donziger and Roger Waters.
In case people aren't aware, what you've been locked up for without being convicted is being in contempt of court for not handing over private communications.
Yeah, computer and cell phone to Chevron. And the order that I do so is unprecedented in U.S. history. I mean, lawyers do not turn over their internal communications and confidential communications to adversary counsel in the middle of a case, So I'm being targeted by Chevron. I'm being prosecuted not by the government, but by a Chevron law firm named Seward and Kissel. I mean, there's a lot of extraordinary features to what's happening to me that raise really disturbing questions about our judicial system.
One of the most shocking things about this case to me as an outsider who doesn't, have a law degree, but has watched a lot of Law and Order, they refused to prosecute you, right? The prosecutors would not prosecute you. And the judge had to go and get a firm to prosecute you?
A private law firm to prosecute me. And then he hid the fact that the firm he chose, he could have chosen a lot of different former federal prosecutors to prosecute me, but he chose one that has Chevron as a client. It's the most extraordinary thing. That's why we say this is the first corporate prosecution in U.S. history. I'm being prosecuted by Chevron. And if you were in my trial, Roger was in my trial last week. It was a farce. There was no jury. The judge is a leader. Loretta Preska is a leader of the Federalist Society. Chevron's a major donor. My prosecutor, Rita Glavin, comes from a Chevron law firm. And the charging judge, Lou Kaplan, whose charges were rejected by the normal federal prosecutor, has investments in a mutual fund that has investments in Chevron.
This is the fundamental question. Do we want to live in a world where everybody has recourse to the law? I do. I really do. The law has taken us a long time to develop. Okay, it goes back way beyond Runnymede, which was 1214 to 1297, when Magna Carta was written, and when we started to figure out how to whittle down the power of the kings and the barons and the whatever. But so we've now arrived at a place, and we eventually arrived at habeas corpus, for instance, which is a fundamental tenet. It's actually Article 29 of the Magna Carta, okay, which says that no man shall be imprisoned, save that his case is heard by a jury of his peers. That's roughly what Article 29 is. Well, that's been thrown out the window. In the United States of America, habeas corpus disappeared with the invasion of Iraq,
right?
Or with 9/11. No. I'm going to go for it. So those amendments say that at the behest of the commander-in-chief, who up until very recently was a bloke called Donald Trump, who I wouldn't let feed my fucking dog, because he's not to be trusted. But at his whim, upon his say-so, could lock any of us up forever without even making a phone call. This is written law in the United States of America. So you could say that this case, where you let people with a lot of money trample roughshod over people who haven't got any money at all, which is his 30,000 clients in Ecuador in the rainforest. But the people who've got a lot of money and can pay Gibson Dunn and their hired hands are allowed to have their way. So the law is for the rich. Boom. End of story. Well, this is wrong. And this is what we, the people, are fighting against. I know you are. I know Leslie is, and we too are as well. But this is what we have to galvanize people to do, is to say, no, this is wrong. Everyone must have recourse to the law all over the world, irrespective of their race, color, creed, religion, nationality, blah, 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 blah. That is why we're here. All right, I finished my little speech.